Hello everybody, this is the Vikstrand, and today, this is my hotel by the way in Syracuse. Today we're going to talk about a question that has nagged me for a little bit concerning a certain Vince McMahon. He signed the Ultimate Warrior. Why didn't he sign the Barbarian brothers as a tag team? Now I know that Vince McMahon doesn't like tag teams, but when he has two guys that look like two Scott Steiners, why didn't he sign them? I mean, they couldn't have worse in-ring capability than the Ultimate Warrior, but we're getting sidetracked here. We're here to talk about an incredibly dumb movie, The Barbarians. The Barbarians is a classic Italian sword and sorcery movie, which begins, as you do in an Italian sword and sorcery movie, with an evildoer coming to destroy a village. Now, when he does that, he, wants to wed some broad that lives there, but she also has two sons, and in a moment of dumb bad guyism, which all people do have, he says, well, I'll spare them, and I will swear that none of my men will try to kill them. And then they, start working the mines and, being tortured and whipped and stuff like that, that's slaves, but they're not being killed. He's actually going to trick them into killing each other, thereby keeping his promise, which is actually kind of a fun logic. His plan massively backfires, as we have seen. Being forced to do manual labors makes you get a bodybuilder body in no time. And once they find out about each other's existence, they decided, hey, let's have wacky adventures and stop this bad guy, and so they do. The Barbarians is about as complicated as a game of tic-tac-toe, and it's about one of the dumbest movies I have ever seen. But it doesn't really matter, because it is made in such good spirit, it is made with such carefree love inside of it, that if you want to find places, well, this is dumb, I can't watch that, this is stupid, I can't watch that, this is terrible acting and stuff like that, you'll find it. I mean, Peter and Paul, the Barbarian brothers, as they were called, are terrible actors. The special effects are woeful. The story is about as cliched as you can get, but it doesn't matter, because the movie doesn't really care about that. It cares about entertaining you, and it works. This isn't Conan the Barbarian. This isn't, some actually good fantasy movie, but it still has a fun atmosphere looming over it, and that counts for something. It's bad, but I don't know if it is bad on purpose, but if it is bad on purpose, then it's bad on purpose in such a way that it doesn't feel like he's winking to the audience that this is bad on purpose. I think The Barbarians is an entertaining movie. It is fun to sit down and just have a laugh at how silly a fantasy movie truly can get. Because this is more of a comedy than, let's say, Iron Master I reviewed a couple of weeks ago, I give this one much higher ratings for it. The Barbarians is a totally fine fantasy movie. It is a dumb movie, but it doesn't have any pretensions of being something else, and it doesn't try to be anything else than what it is. A very entertaining sea movie. Oh, we also have to talk about the sound effects, because they seem to have been running quite low on sound effects for this movie, because whenever they do something that requires a little bit more of a force, like punching a guy or throwing a stone or busting up a door or something like that, every time that happens, you get this large big thud, and I think they use the same thud for about 80% of all these things. And once you start realizing it, it kind of goes, that's the same effect, I think. That's dumb. The great chemistry between the very charismatic Barbarian brothers works in these movies benefit and lifts this movie up quite a bit. I'm giving this movie 45 points. Now it may sound like a bit of a low rating considering that I haven't really told you anything really terrible about this movie, but I would rather say so that the great atmosphere, the great love for the craft, and the silly comedy rather saves the movie from a truly woeful rating rather than lifting it up into some kind of a mythical status. It is not a great movie, but it is a kind of fun movie in that little weird way that you sometimes can't look away from. So that was it for today, and see you next time from, well, so and so reviewing, well, such and such. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much.